Okay, good evening again, everyone. I am going to share my screen. Some of the public comments that were mentioned, we will address in my city administrator update. Okay, are you all seeing that?
We do.
Okay, I'm just going to stop the subtitles. All right, good. Okay, I'm going to just get started and go right through this. This is the agenda that we will follow tonight. Okay, and I just want to remind everyone that we did say farewell to Joe Brewer, longtime code compliance officer, and then for the last few years, code compliance manager, actually last 5 years, code compliance manager. And Joe left the city after 19 and a half years with the city. So we're going to miss him. The mayor, council, several others came to help us as we had a cookout to say farewell. So just letting everyone know, we still have a code compliance team, a very sharp team that will still be on the job. They work for DPW. So please continue to reach out to codecompliance@hyattsville.org if you have an issue, and we will still be responsive. Okay, we have some new staff. We are still in the hiring freeze, but I do want to just acknowledge that some of the key positions have been hired, and then some of the others have been hired as far back as April and May. So I just wanted to do a quick snapshot. We have at least one new officer, so we're happy to welcome Private Thaipan. And then we have two dispatchers. We had some vacancies there. We also had a vacancy for our training coordinator position. Mr. Hughes came back in May. And then we have our new intern for our community business and economic development. He is helping us get that strategic plan back on track. So the community will hear more from all of us about this strategic plan. Okay, and Laura, Cindy, Jim, and the whole team have been working hard on our website. They have a new look for it. So when you click on the website, you're going to see a whole new look and feel for that. That's going to be sometime this week that it'll launch. There was no cost to that, but what we wanted to do is just ensure that there was some focus on users being able to navigate through that site a little easier. We also tried to move the color palette to that of the Hyattsville flag. But again, it will be a user-friendly version of this. Laura, am I missing anything?
You are not, but I do want to give full credit to Cindy and Jim. They did a great job, and we're excited for the community to see the website. We think it is more user-friendly and should be easier to navigate. So we hope everybody likes it. Thank you.
Thank you. You'll see that this week. All right. And then we've got a new business that just opened right here on Route 1. So that's the Moto Jesse International Food Market. We appreciate Councilmember Barnes, Jeff Ulysse, Renee Harris. They all attended that grand opening last Saturday. Please stop by and visit them. Hey, this is another good update that I wanted to share with everyone. Jeff has been tracking all of the development in the city, and the multi-generational center is just something that we've all been very interested in. Most of you remember that that's the 87,000 square foot building that will be over there in the vicinity of the library, where the current facility is, fitness, Prince George's County Fitness facility is. So it's about a $90+ million facility. It's located on Adelphi Road, as I said, and you can see some of the things that it's going to have there. We're going to have a gym, indoor track, a pool, multi-purpose rooms for resident meetings, and then an outdoor turf field. So here's kind of the status of what's been happening there. In February, they did release that RFP. They got some proposals back in May, and so they're reviewing those proposals. They expect to award the contract sometime in the fall, and then they'll go right into design in February 2027. They expect that the completion is probably going to be somewhere around 2029, 2030. So we're excited to see that come to fruition and that's still moving. We've also had a few ward and community meetings this month. Again, it's just been a short period between the last meeting rather, but we did have a meeting out at Hyrick Park, and we talked about things such as park signage, the West Hyattsville master plan. So we'll be getting that put out on that new website that we talked about, Ager Road Trail. We talked about a lot of things such as lighting and sidewalk hazards, traffic safety. And we had a few other community meetings where we talked, we walked several of the staff actually, walked Queens Chapel and Hamilton, that corridor, and just talked about some things that we need to do out there. We appreciate Councilmember Nesbitt for joining in that one. And then, of course, a couple parking meetings to update the community, Ward 4 with Councilmember Lee, and then Ward 2, we met over there at the Etrian Church because there's continuous concerns out there with the church. So again, at the first meeting at Hyattsville Park, Council President Solomon, Councilmember Haba, and Councilmember Lee were there with us. CALIA accreditation. This is pretty huge for us. Many of you remember the name CALIA. It is the gold standard that you see there. It is in their emblem. So it's really the comparison. It's like the best practices. When you have a CALIA assessment, they're evaluating best practices, and they're looking for professional excellence in their public safety community. And so we have been, this will be our 8th re-accreditation, but this, we just had the visit last week. This concludes a 4-year review cycle. So what they do is, and Chief, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what they tend to do is come out 3 times. They do 3 times each year, but in those years, they do not come to the facility. Then the 4th year, they actually come and physically visit us. The other times, they're just asking for our policies and they're reviewing a lot of materials. So we had that in-person visit. They met with a lot of people. They did some ride-alongs and so forth. So we're looking forward to the final report that is presented on all of the communities. Most municipalities and counties are part of CALIA. And then the fall conference will be in Florida, where we'll hear our feedback. The assessor that came out this time did express being very impressed with everything that's going on in HPD and all of the work, policies and procedures, et cetera. So that's good news for us. Hey, Chief, I'm going to let you do this stop sign camera update. I think that's important that we just kind of give an overview of that.
Okay, thank you, Tracy. Good evening, Hyattsville. Good evening, Mayor and Council. So stop sign enforcement is something we've been talking about for a little while now. We had a meeting with the County Councilwoman, Winika Fisher, and she is going to be sponsoring us, all municipalities that are moving forward with this legislation after their individual city or town council authorizes the use of this technology in their individual jurisdiction. The county council then has to sponsor that use, and then they have to pass an ordinance at the county level. So we have tentatively been scheduled to be to initiate that process when the county council returns from recess on September 8th. Once it goes to the county council, they'll then pass it to their TIEE committee, which is their traffic and engineering committee. It'll go to committee, they'll vote on it, and it'll come back to council for final approval by the county council sometime in mid-October. Simultaneous while that process is underway, we're working on our own vendor selection and contract approval, and we'll be bringing that contract once a vendor is finalized back to the city council, to this body for final approval. And we plan to do that before county council authorizes our permits, our locations in mid-October.
Okay, thank you, Chief.
Yes, ma'am.
And then I mentioned to you that we would talk a little bit about Canvas Parking Garage. I do want to say that the garage is coming along. It looks beautiful. Leslie, the DPW team went out with Reggie and the parking team and inspected it. We are excited, just as excited, if not more, as our residents to get that parking garage open. We really petitioned for that because we knew we wanted our businesses to have places to park out here. And so we will have over 150 spaces in this parking garage. The biggest challenge, however, has been State Highway and making sure that we can get people out safely. Reggie's been calling regularly. We're following up. I think we should be open in a couple weeks, but Reggie, would you just give a quick update on what's going on with the garage?
Yes, I'll be glad to. Thank you very much for allowing me the opportunity, and then thank the public comments on this issue as well. We are looking to open the garage as soon as possible. I have always been slow to give a date because several times before I have given a soft date and things have happened. But we are aggressively working with the property owners as well as with the State Highway Administration to make the entrance and egress on the Route 1 side very safer and easier to navigate. So how it's being approached. There is a short-term solution and a long-term solution. The long-term solution definitely involves the realignment of the traffic lights, as the citizen mentioned, but you can imagine that would take time. The shorter-term solution will allow for regulation of the turning and to allow only right turns into and out of the garage, and that's what we're looking to move with a short-term solution and be able to even make that as safe as possible. The idea was brought up about entering and exiting from Jefferson Street, which is something to consider. There are some potential issues with that, which I won't get into in detail on this meeting, but look forward to addressing it in dialogue should the mayor or council have questions about that, and I'll be happy to address those as we go through Q&A from the council.
Yeah, I do want to also remind everyone that this is a shared garage, so that is the garage that's further to the north, that entrance, the Jefferson Street entrance, that is the residence parking and the church parking. And so our parking is on the far end, but again, 150 plus spaces, and we're excited and we're ready to get this open. Leslie, I'll turn this over to you so you can brief. I have about 4 or 5 projects in here. I just wanted Leslie to give a status update on some of the projects that you've asked about recently.
Thank you, Tracy. And Deputy Director Helmetzler is also on the line, so I will defer some of this to him. So the Lower Ward 1 stormwater resiliency has actually been going on. There was an initial study a number of years ago. We are now at the juncture where we have put forward a number of different projects. They have to be vetted and approved by EPA directly. It is in that process right now. Hal, anything to add on Lower Ward 1?
Nothing specifically, but we are working diligently with EPA and hope to get the approvals as soon as possible.
Thank you. Portland Luz just had an update with JMT, who are our engineering firm that have been working with WSSC to push these forward. The Hyatt Park will probably go to construction sometime in September or early fall, October. Hyrick Park will take a little bit more maneuvering simply because there is, unfortunately, the sewer line isn't close to our connection. And so we are working through and continue to work through the process with WSSC on that. Hal?
Yes. Yeah, these are taking a little bit longer because we are using a pump technology that WSSC does use, but it's not very common. So it's taking a little longer to go through their review process because it is kind of an atypical application. But we are hopeful we can meet the schedule as outlined and get these installed.
So the Trolley Trail Park, or AKA, I love that, the spot. We have been waiting patiently on DPI, the county, for our permits. There has been some back and forth with the county in regard to stormwater and our capacity to have the plan slightly tweaked because of stormwater. Hopefully we, again, are working with DPI. Tracy was nice enough to reach out to DPI, and this should be moving along hopefully quickly, because our contractors are ready to roll. Hal?
That's what I was going to say. The contractors have been chomping at the bit for several months now. So as soon as we get the okay from DPI and the permits issued, you'll see us get them out there.
Awesome. So city building renovations, if you all or any of the council, mayor council have been at the city, we're going through a change in our elevator. We're updating the entire elevator. That is happening currently. I heard they hooked up the phone, the carpet will be in, and hopefully we will be up to date in the next few weeks with the elevator. Council chambers, we are waiting on proposals for the construction of the dais. The other contractors are ready to go. Really, the dais, making sure that we had bullet resistant material in the dais, having that vetted and put through a design process. And now we're awaiting, hopefully this week, a proposal from the fabricator. That should be coming to council fairly soon. Hal?
Yes, and you can see there's a rendering of what the current kind of layout would look like. We worked hard with the designer and with our TV folks to make sure that all of the cameras and everything were accounted for, so that when we are back in session in person, you can get the best quality video production out of the space.
Thanks, Hal. Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you. Sandra, if you're on, I'll let you talk about the therapy art gallery opening. And if you're not on, I'll just talk about it. That was Saturday, children ages 16 to 24. And as you can see there, the children were able to use creative journeys as art form and self-expression. Delegate Martinez was there and he presented their certificates. You can also see Councilwoman Gokai is there as well. Gopi Dokai is there as well. And, you know, it was a great event. We had one of our own, actually one of our original youth advisory council members, Diana Alvarez. She was also a participant and received a certificate. And we do want to thank the library team for securing the grant so that the youth could grow through their artwork. I don't know if the council members have anything to add, but I guess we can do that after I finish. I just have a few more slides to go. We also got a $150,000 grant from the Maryland Department of Aging. That's the naturally occurring retirement community grant. And that's to fund some of our senior programs. That's the first time we've received that and the largest amount that we've received specifically for seniors in about 4 years. Many of you recall we got a $300,000 grant a couple years ago, 3 years ago. But this will continue to fund some of our literacy programs. Many of you recall that we're doing a lot of computer training with our seniors and other great programs that they enjoy and that they've asked for. All right, we've got some upcoming events. We got a bicycle rodeo coming up next Saturday, next Saturday, August 16th from 11 to 2, and that's at Driscoll Park. And then we have another summer jam coming up. That summer jam is September 19th. We skipped the August summer jam because in August we have the National Night Out. That is also at Driscoll Park from 6 to 8 p.m. That's tomorrow, 6 to 8. So please come out and join us there. All right, and here's some of our weekly offerings. The seated exercise class we do for older adults. We do that every Wednesday from 10 to 11. And then the free Zumba class. That class is really growing, by the way. That's on Monday and Wednesdays from 4 to 5. All right, a lot of committee meetings coming up. So remember, we're not meeting again until September 15th. So this is a snapshot of several of our committee meetings. Not going to go through this whole list because it is very long. I do want to remind everyone to check out our new website and you will see all of the upcoming committee meetings on the website. And here's some of the upcoming events. I mentioned National Night Out, also intergenerational event on Thursday the 7th. Care Partner Support Group, Friday, August 8th. That's this week. And then we've got some produce, free fresh produce distribution on the 12th. Fall field permits meeting, that'll be on the 13th. Invasive removals from local parks on the 16th. Again, I mentioned the bike rodeo. Ward 4 is having a community block party on August 16th from 4 to 10. And then a CERT meeting, a community emergency response team meeting. That is on Wednesday, August 20th. A few others. Many of you know we're still doing our Narcan training, so we've got that scheduled for Thursday the 21st, and again on Friday the 22nd. Another care support group meeting on the 22nd, and on September 5th, and Hyattsville Community Health and Wellness Fair is going to be on Saturday the 6th. We usually partner when we do that. We partner with First United Methodist Church, so that will be on the 6th. And my last slide is just wishing our August babies a very happy birthday. Reggie Bagley is on the 1st. Our city clerk, Nate, is on the 14th. Councilmember Shively, August 19th, and Councilmember Solomon, August 29th. We wish all of you a very happy birthday. I'm going to stop share and take any questions that you may have for me.
Thank you, and happy birthday to all those folks. Colleagues, questions and comments? Ms. Wazak, you go first.
Thank you very much. That was a great presentation. It's good to see everything that's been going on. I wondered if we could hear a little bit more from Reggie about the entrance. I know that it seems logical that we should be able to enter and exit the new parking garage off of Jefferson Street. And then I also heard the city administrator say that that entrance only leads to the resident parking and church parking. And I wondered if there's a workaround there, because I am concerned that people will come out of the garage onto Route 1. And even if we tell them they can only turn right, I have a strong feeling that people will disobey this and turn left anyway, and we're going to see an accident. So I just wondered if we could talk about whether it's at all possible to use the Jefferson entrance.
And before Reggie begins, I do want to just make a correction. I'm sorry if I misled and said that you cannot get to our parking lot. You can. You just have to pass two other parking areas that are not designated. But I do believe that it's open. I don't know if there's barriers there. Reggie and his team went over there today, so I'll let him take it from here.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. And yes, ma'am, to both. We did make sure that there are appropriate stoppages at the end of the or at the beginning of the city area. To speak to the Jefferson Street issue, there are several things at play. One of which is that we have an agreement with UIP. In addition to that, keep in mind we don't own the property. It's not our property. We're managing a garage that's in the property, and part of our agreement with UIP is that the entrance on Jefferson Street would primarily be for the residents and for the church. There are three entities that share the garage: the city, the church, and the residents. And so, we while it is not impossible to do that, there are some considerations that need to be made before just arbitrarily saying that we're going to open up the Jefferson Street side to the public, even though it is accessible. We would need to consult with the actual owners of the building, because that's a part of our agreement that we would utilize the lower half and they would utilize the upper half. Keeping in mind that the residents come in, they expect to go straight forward and up into their areas and not necessarily have to wait in line behind public traffic to be able to get in. We also need to think about how we are equipped. Is that the exits on Jefferson Street will only be equipped to take credit card payments. So if someone wants to pay cash or utilize the pay station, we're only equipped to do that on our side. While most people do pay with credit cards, that's the only exit option that's available on the Jefferson Street side. There are a couple of other things, and you're very correct to realize that the public kind of does what they want to do. And we are concerned that if we allow public parking into our area, even with the closed barricades, as we've noticed even before the garage opened, if it's convenient to people, they will move the barricades out of the way and continue to do what they find to be convenient. That has even been happening before the garage was open. So if we allow public parking in our area, we need to consider the fact that some may find it more convenient to just drive out of the Route 1 side, even though it's not completely open yet. So those are things that we're considering. Not saying that Jefferson Street is out of the question, but it's not a slam dunk solution to actually do it right away. And we're looking to be able to even implement the temporary solution appropriately in a short period of time. I won't announce a date, but we do have a time frame in mind to be able to open from the Route 1 side.
Okay, well, thanks for pursuing the Jefferson idea, because it seems like that might be, if it's approved, an immediate term solution. And then the right turn out of the Route 1 side could be a short-term solution, and then installing the traffic lights could be the longer-term solution. I am really just concerned about these new Ward 1 businesses, the restaurant, the mathnasium. I'm concerned that they're here and they don't have a place for their businesses. I mean, their customers to park. I also wondered if you could talk about the $100 tickets that people were getting when they parked in the lot.
Okay,
Did
so
you know about that?
okay, I did, and I don't want to. Most of the information is not. Well, I'll tell you what I can. That the people who were cited were not randomly cited. There were, as you know, in order to park there at this juncture, you have to actually move the barricades out of the way and go into the garage and park. We have barricades, we have signs, we have everything, and the people who were cited were previously warned and asked not to park there. And so again, this is an example of convenience, because that is unfortunately what continued to happen. And we were at the point that after saying it a few times, hey, this is not open, don't park here, there were people who found it more convenient to move the barricades out of the way and park there, and so they received citations. Keeping in mind that it's still our operation, and if someone parks there even though we're not open and something happens, there's a potential liability for the city because it happened in our area. And so we did have barricades, we did have signs, and sometimes people opted for convenience sake to still park there. And so we were the next step beyond verbal requests, it would be to issue citations.
Understood. Thank you. And then the last thing was, I just imagine that we're going to be hearing about this during the presentation that comes next. I am just curious whether the demolition and construction crews for Hyattsville Elementary School will be allowed to use the parking garage, or if not, can we communicate that to them in advance so that they don't get $100 tickets?
Okay, so I would say again, I'm not prepared to announce publicly when our target opening date is, but it is quite possible that we will be operational when that when the bulk of that activity begins to when the bulk of that activity is going on. So we're there's room for that. I'm just not prepared to say publicly what our date and time frame is.
Okay, understood. And hopefully we do have a low cost or no cost place for the demolition and construction crews to park, but we can talk about that during the presentation if you want.
Well, I can say publicly that we do offer for not just the construction crew, but for all of the workers who are in the Route 1 corridor, we do have special rates available on the backside of Lot 1, which is commonly known as the Franklin's lot. And if you contact parking at hyattsville.org, we'll be happy to arrange the flat rate parking that we offer to the employees along the area. So they would be eligible for parking in that area, which really is about the same walking distance as would be the garage. It's convenient, it's accessible, and many of our Route 1 workers do take advantage of that.
Thank you, Reggie.
Okay, Mr. Shively.
Thank you. This question is related to the Canvas parking situation too, specifically the entrance and egress onto Route 1 and the ride only. That seems like a reasonable interim solution. But I'm curious, do we have a time frame for the more permanent solution, which appears to be identified as a relocation of the traffic signal? And have we conducted outreach to MDOT State Highways yet to formalize that request?
Yes, sir. That conversation has been ongoing between State Highway and the property owner. It's important to keep in mind at this point we have to always realize that we are like the third party in this because we're not the property owner, And but we have been party and privy to the conversation that's happening between UIP and State Highway. So that conversation has been happening. It is ongoing, and I'm even less prepared to give a public estimate as to when the permanent solution would be enacted. But the last understanding that we have between the property owner and State Highway would be that it involves a realignment of the traffic lights. And if you're familiar with the area, you know that even though the traffic lights come over Route 1, the base of the traffic light is on someone else's property. So there's another property owner that's involved in the discussions as well, and so all of those factors have to be considered. And to that point, to give you a more complete answer, the public works team, Hal and Leslie, came out to look at the site last week. Hal gave some very innovative ideas that we are exploring to see if we can't even make the right turn only arrangement safer, because even though you do say right turn only, without a little bit of restriction, people are going to probably do what they want to do anyway. And the last thing we want is to have a bad situation to happen, not only in terms of the traffic leaving, but there's a huge sidewalk in between the garage exit and the street. And so we have to consider pedestrian safety as well.
Thank you. I think that all sounds good. I know, these conversations can take a while to really bear fruit. So I just encourage you to keep having them. If at any juncture there is design that, that you'd like the council to provide if there are alternatives or anything like that, I would encourage it to come back to the council, so long as it doesn't unnecessarily gunk up and slow down the process. But thank you for your work, Reggie.
No problem, sir.
My other question is just a simple one. With Joe Brewer's departure, I think his title was Supervisory Code Enforcement. I would often connect with him if there were code questions I had. Is there someone acting in that capacity now that we might direct code-related questions to?
Leslie, I'll let you answer that. But of course, the email would be codecompliance@hyattsville.org. But this Joe Brewer's title was actually Code Manager, and then we have a Code Supervisor, which is CJ Redding, which was under Joe. Leslie, I'll let you.
Thank you. Yeah, same as Administrator Douglas, Councilmember Shively. Code compliance at hyattsville.org, best way to get the code. It's in very safe hands with CJ and Anna and Lester and Lonnie. So we are pushing forward, and we'll take a look at an acting manager position at some point. But you're in very good hands with the team. They are great people, and they do a really super job.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Ms. Lee.
Hello, good evening. I want to follow up with Reggie Bagley and City Administrator Douglas. Thank you all so much for coming out to discuss the ongoing parking concerns in Ward 4, especially the areas that have parking enforcement. I just wanted to follow up and ask if are there any updates on when the flyers will be going out in the signage to give more communication to residents that they need to apply for the parking permit?
You would probably be glad to know, Councilmember Lee, that we did take a look at the number of registrations that have improved, that have kicked up, in particularly in Ward 4 since our last conversation. So the word is getting out. I do not have a date yet for the sign installation. The signage orders go through our communications department. We get a design to them. They get it to the sign to the sign printer. We get quotes and prices and those types of things, and we'll get those back. We will have them back. They will be going up as soon as possible, and that is a solution that we're looking to implement. And for the residents who are online. who may be listening, please pay attention to your registration period. There and if your online information is not updated, please update your online information as soon as possible, because that is the means by which the notifications come to you.
Yes, and I would add something to that. That is, if you register previously, then it will come to it would come as an email as a reminder. But if you never registered, you don't receive anything. So you just need to go on Hyattsville.com and under parking permits, right? Residential parking permits.
Hyattsville.org, yes.
Hyattsville.org. Okay. Yes, because we definitely would like. So with that being said, are we going to extend the grace period since this is an ongoing matter for those areas?
So we're unable to outright extend a grace period if there are enforcement matters that are undertaken and someone ends up with a citation and would like to contest or have the citation reviewed for special circumstances. We will look at that on a case-by-case basis.
And they would need to reach out to
parking at Hyattsville.org or call us directly. There were some things that were brought to our attention that after review, there were some circumstances that were not readily apparent, and that's why they need to be done on a case-by-case basis. And the one thing that's important to understand that sometimes citations are issued, and then in review we find out that the resident may have been outside of the appropriate number of vehicles. So that's why it has to be done on a case-by-case basis. We can't just blanketly just say we're going to extend it. If something happens, we'll be happy to take a look and be as fair as we can to all the residents.
Okay, thank you. And then, sorry.
I was just going to say the signs that she's referring to for everyone else's information are the small signs that you might see around for voting or when someone's running for office. And what we said is, because some people miss those signs, depending on what time they come home at night, whatever area is now being considered, or it's their time to be re-registered, then we'll put those signs, paper those signs up and down that roadway so that people, when they come home, they can see the sign that says it is time for you to renew. And then it'll have a QR code, so those with phones can just update their registration that way.
Yes. And then my other thing is, I just want to thank City Administrator Douglas, DPW Chief, and Reggie for coming out to discuss ongoing issues in Ward 4 and things to work on improving. And I also want to say that the throne is back at Herrick Park, which is really great. And it was awesome to see families and the community be able to be out at the park and be comfortable and be able to do what they need to do and enjoy the time in the park that we have. So thank you. And thank you for the update for the Portland Loo and when that should be expected. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Trott.
Yes, going back to the matter of the Route 1 garage, I just wanted to know, Mr. Bagley, is there going to be signage or some sort of directions for people who have to exit going south if they need to turn around and go north? Because my fear is that they will use 42nd Avenue and Gallatin and speed through that corridor in order to get back onto Route.
And that is actually part of what has taken the I didn't get into this in my answer, but your question makes it relevant. This is part of what takes the discussion so long between UIP and State Highway, because they have a whole traffic surveying team, and Hal and Leslie probably know more about this than I do, is that when a solution comes up, they have to look beyond just the solution at that particular intersection. They have to look. They look at what tends to happen as a result of that. What happens up the street, what happens down the street, and so there's a whole traffic management team that participates in these potential solutions. And I don't want to speak outside of my area of expertise, but Leslie, I don't know if you want to add anything before the council member asks her next question, but I know that's more in your lane than mine.
It's spot on, Reggie. Yeah, there's so many specific things to consider as well as making sure that it's fully vetted with state highway and approved through their engineering department. So there's a lot to maneuver.
Is that good, Ms. Trapp?
Yeah, if you get an update with you know, what the plan or what the signage might be, I'd appreciate that. You know, just because I know that we're gonna have concerned residents, or you know, who might expect to see more traffic on their streets. So thank you.
And just to make sure we understand, we have to also consider the very real possibility that no matter what you put out there, we have to pre-think for the people who are not going to obey. And so, so if you have an accident, we can say it was their fault, but it was still an accident, and we still have to deal with that and the potential fallout for that. So there's a lot that goes into looking through this.
Okay, thank you, Ms.
Thank you.
Trapp. And thank you, Mr. Bagley and Ms. Riddle. Everyone.